Hello, my creative friends. It's Holly here on a Sunday. I just decided out of a whim to come on here today, specifically to give a message to any of you that are writers or storytellers of any kind that are actually feeling stuck right now. Like if you're, for example, Lord knows I know this feeling. If you're somebody that it's just you've got a story you've been noodling on, whether it's fiction or whether it's memoir or whatever it is. If there's something that's been hungering in you, you've been noodling on, but you just feel like you're not making as quick a progress as you'd like you just feel a bit stuck. You know, there's some clarity that you need in order to move on, and you don't know what that is. And so you can't move on. So, you'd be fine with the little by little, write a little bit every day, but you know there's something in the way. There's just a lack of clarity. Then I really want to encourage you next weekend. Kelly and I, my partner Kelly and I, and Avery, all three of us are going to be doing this weekend retreat that we do. It's a virtual writing retreat designed to help people do exactly this, to have an extraordinary breakthrough. And I came on here because I'm like, I'm not good at selling. I'm not good at sharing. And so there's frankly not that many people signed up right now, mainly because of a function of my lack of sharing. But the truth is, I know what this workshop does. This retreat does. I created it to help my own damn self because I'm a writer who has many times felt the pain of that lack of clarity. It's so freaking frustrating. And then to top it off, life is, lifing and gets in the way. So sometimes you don't get that running leap that you need to really have a breakthrough. And then furthermore, I use all those books to help me sometimes have a breakthrough, like Save the Cat or The Virgin's Promise or stuff like that, which is enormously helpful. I highly recommend. Like if you don't have the budget to do a weekend retreat or the time, get one of those books just to not so you're formulaic, but because sometimes your brain needs something to push off of as a writer. Like you just need something outside of yourself to sort of make you, think of what you need to know, and then it'll spark something in you. So it's not about the thing, it's about what sparks you. A good writing partner can do that too, but then it better be a good writing partner or you're stuck with the writing partner. So I had ended up creating these retreats where basically it's just a lot of prompts that ask you all the right questions in kind of the right order that follow the archetypal journey. And again, not to put anything in your head and not to tell you how you have to tell your story, but to figure out what the heck story you're even trying to tell, like the clarity before you tell the story, the information that you need to know. Sometimes it just helps to have somebody ask you a billion questions like I do and get past that brain that blocks it so that you can have those ahas. It's like forced ahas. I just speed up your aha process in a short weekend. And so I just wanted to share that exists, that we are doing it. We only do it 3 times a year. This is one of those times. This particular weekend, this coming weekend, is all about helping you drop down, because one of the techniques I use for helping you get clear in your story so that you could take a major leap, just one of the techniques I use is to help you drop into the mindset of your heroine or hero. Like really only see the story from their point of view, their emotional arc of, your protagonist. So you're really just diving in and just being in that point of view. It can be so enlightening. It's like taking the Google Street View of your own story, you will see things. It's the actors do this, because when they take on a character inside your story, they're only focused on what's my part, where's my pages, and they get really, really clear. And so a lot of times, a lot of writers know, screenwriters, the actors will then come back with things you never even thought of because they bothered to sink in. And so this is that thing. It doesn't matter if you're at the beginning of your writing process or if you're getting, you're stuck in act 3 or something and can't figure stuff out. There's always time to sort of pull back and drop in to the point of view of your protagonist, your hero or heroine, and really see your story from them, just from their growth, the thing that has to be there. Or, why are we watching? Why are we reading? Why are we, so that's what we do, is help you over the course of a weekend take a running leap that way into your story. And you will, I don't know, it's impossible to spend a weekend focused in that way and getting pummeled with all the questions I pummel you with and those prompts and not have some kind of breakthrough. I mean, you just, it's just not possible. And then to top it off, it's like I'm there helping specifically the fiction writers because it's different. I have slightly different prompts for each case scenario because for fiction writers, you're inventing what the emotional arc is. So the prompts are really designed very similar to the others, but very much designed to help you invent what this emotional arc is, but in a super organic, like very humanly truthful sort of way. Um, and then if you're working on memoir, you get to work with Kelly Carlin McCall, who's amazing. I mean, like, if you don't sign up just for her, if you're working on memoir, you're, in my opinion, crazy because the chance for it's only $199 for the weekend, and you get to spend all weekend with her unpacking what you're discovering, via these prompts. The memoir prompts are designed a little more to because you're not creating, you're remembering. So it's designed to help you remember and to see the patterns, to find the thread. She used it for her own memoir that she's doing, and it helped her remember it reveals what the thread is because, you know, your life story, your memoirs, your memories, I mean, it feels like there's endless things that are important. So this helps you narrow down. It's not that everything's not important. It's that in order to tell a story to others outside of yourself, you got to find a thread of one particular thing that's particularly important that all the other stories sort of support. And so it helps you do that. And then, we even went so far as we know that some of you writers, what you really need to do is get clear on your own life right now, because a lot of your stories, let's be honest, with fiction, they're rooted in you and your personal myth, your personal heroine and hero stories. So we've got Avery, who's a positive intelligence coach, and she's a wonderful life coach. We have her with again a slightly different set of prompts that has you thinking of yourself as the heroine or hero of a journey of a story you want to live into, like to actually invent the story of your life that you want to live into based on looking at what's been in your past and really getting clear on all that. So there's 3 different ways to come at it for the weekend. And yeah, whether you're fiction with me, memoir with Kelly, or just going to use narrative as personal growth with Avery, this is what's happening, and it can get you, as my point at the top, all of those things, whichever one you're working, can really get you unstuck fast. And then go back to what I always recommend with writers is little by little is fine. Every day, write a little. But this gives you that leap. So you suddenly, because when you don't have clarity, it's hard to do the little by little. You really need some clarity in order to do that. So that's what we're going to be doing the weekend, the 27th, February 27th through March 1st. And I should clarify too that we're not going to be on Zoom all weekend. I know people hate that. It's not like that. It's more like you just clear your calendar and tell everybody I'm not available. You just decide, as a writer, I need to give myself this time to really have a breakthrough. I need some clarity. And so you just clear your calendar, take the schedule away. And what's going to happen is I have all these, like I said, pre-recorded prompts that ask you a billion questions. And so you can listen to those and journal and listen and journal and listen and journal all by yourself, wherever you want. Sit in your backyard. You could go to an Airbnb. You can do whatever you want. And then there's set times where we hop on this Zoom call all together. So there's people all over the country, even out of the country, that are doing the prompts on their own and analyzing. And then we show up, and it's a really cool bunch. Then we show up on Zoom, and unpack. And you unpack in the various breakout rooms depending on what you're really focused on. And it's amazing what happens from that. And it makes it so you don't feel quite so alone, and makes you feel like, because I've done weekend writing retreats all by myself. And without those sort of benchmarks, sometimes you can get lost in the weeds. But this forces you to, you only have so much time to do the first 2 sets of prompts, and then you're going to get on a Zoom call with us. And then you've got, again, half an afternoon to do the next set of prompts, but you have to just get on with it. And then you get on a Zoom call with us. And the next day, the same thing happens. And so it keeps you pushing on that trail. And we constantly are telling you, don't overthink. We can't. This is not about getting every answer and knowing every detail. This is about having that overarching breakthrough. It's called finding the thread, because it's the only purpose of the weekend, even though yes, you will see individual scenes you'll probably end up using in the long run, and you will get a lot of details that you will use, but that's not the point. The point of the weekend will be to find that thread, the thing that will keep you going for a long time, because it will give you, plenty of clarity until it doesn't, until you got to go back and look from the higher view again. But yeah, it's the process. And so, yeah, you writers that feel stuck that way, I have all the compassion in the world for, because I've been there 1,000 billion times. In fact, I'm going to break a story this weekend, and Kelly's going to be working out. We're all going to be doing it right alongside everybody else, because sometimes you just need that running leap. So if that's something that's of interest to you, I'm going to put the link. I know it's last minute, because, again, I'm terrible at promoting this stuff. But if it's something that sounds good to you and you can clear your calendar, it's just $199 for the whole weekend. And then you get to sit with those prompts for a whole nother month after that, and go round and round them again if you need to. And yeah, and you can stay in the community with us and do the daily practice for a whole month and see if that's something you want to do as well, which, again, if you want to stick with the daily practice after that, it's super cheap, only $25 a month. Or if you've got no money at all, there is the possibility of some scholarships. You can direct message me, and I can, give you those prompts in a certain way. Just we can talk, and there is a chance for some of you for just getting access to the prompts in a DIY situation where you're not on the call with us. You're just kind of quietly letting it give the breakthroughs that you need on your own when you do have availability. So yeah, there's 1,000 ways. It's not about the money. This is truly about, if you're a writer out there that needs some clarity, I want to help. And again, I also just want you to meet my partners, because if you knew how awesome it was to work with Kelly and Avery, you wouldn't hesitate at all. You'd be like, why didn't I do this? These are some cool ass people. So yeah, that's all I have to say for today. And I'll be back next week with some of my random pulling cards and daily inspiration. I'll talk to you then.